So let's get started on that. All right, our conversation flow is good enough now. We can, of course, keep tuning it, and we are going to do that. But I want to make one feature work, which is very important, which is the actual sending of the link so the customer can book an appointment. And to do that, we need to hook up 11 Labs with a service that can send SMS. And what we'll be using is, of course, Go High Level for this. So the system will basically work like this. We are going to have 11 Labs where the customer is talking to the voice agent. When they are ready to book, 11 Labs needs to be able to send over a signal to Go High Level, where inside of Go High Level, we will then send the SMS. And it needs to be able to do this instantly with no delay, so the customer sees the text message. Maybe what we can do is, like, if they haven't booked after, let's say, an hour, then we send them a follow-up so they remember to book. And if they haven't booked after, let's do 5 hours, then we send them another follow-up, and we can maybe send another one after 24 hours. Like right now, we have someone that we have talked to on the phone that is interested. So setting up follow-ups will be important. And in those follow-up, we can mention things like, remember that the voucher expires, etc. We have some urgency because we told them in the call that the voucher only lasts for 7 days. We have some urgency that we can push inside of the follow-ups. So let's actually build this out. To get the AI to be able to send a text message, we need to connect it to Go High Level, like I explained before. The way we do that is using the tools inside of 11 Labs. If we click on Tools, click Add Tool, and click Webhook, it allows us to create a custom tool where we can send data to wherever we want. And the LLM, the large language model, will then decide what to send in that request and also when to send it. So there's two things we need to get right here. Of course, we need to set up the tool correctly, so it sends the SMS correctly. We also need to make sure that the AI knows when to send the text, so it only sends it after the client has agreed to book an appointment. So what we're going to do is that we are going to go to Make first, create a new scenario. You could also use NetN or Zapier, whatever you wanted for this. Make is the easiest to connect into Go High Level. That's why I'm using Make now. We can then create a trigger inside of Make, call it Custom Webhook, and just create a new webhook that we call send SMS. No API key needed. Click Save. We probably do need an API key now when I'm thinking about it. Otherwise, someone will be able to just like spam SMS. Let me create an API key right quick. I've added an API key because we don't want anyone just to be able to hit this endpoint and then send a bunch of SMS from our Go High Level account. That's going to rack up an SMS bill. So we add an API key like this, and then we click Save. And now we get a webhook that's called Send This SMS, and we get this webhook URL right here. So we are going to copy this one. We're going to go inside of 11 Labs. We're going to paste it right here. Then for the method, we're going to use post. For the name, we're going to call it Send SMS. Sends an SMS to the caller. For the headers, we then need to use the API key. The type, we're going to use secret. For the name, we're going to call it X make API key. For the secret, it's where we insert the API key that we just created inside of make. So I'm just going to call this make API key. And then we're going to insert this value. Let me do that right quick. There we go. Now we have the X make API key in the header, which means that we should now be able to authenticate the request. In the description, we need to clearly describe what this actually does, what this tool call does, and when to call it. So I'm going to write sends an SMS to the caller with the booking link. Use this tool when the caller wants to book an appointment. The data type will be a string. The identifier will be phone number. The value type is going to be a dynamic variable because now we can insert the system called number right here and then click add tool. Need to change the name to send_SMS, and now it should be able to work. Cool, so we got the AI to trigger the tool. What you can see is that the phone number is right now empty. This is because we are testing it inside of the web version, so there's no phone number to send. But when we're actually connecting this to a real phone number, then the phone number will show right here.